Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie. So today's video is going to be kind of a follow-up from my previous video, which was how to be successful in a job interview. This is how to prepare for your first day in your new job. So if there's something that you really want to watch, then carry on. So you've got this job and you're really excited and you're raring to go, but what are the key things that you need to remember before starting your first day? Now, number one seems so obvious and I don't want to be patronising, but do you know where it is? Now I say this because, yeah, you might have gone for an interview there, but also there are a lot of virtual interviews. As I said in my last video, there's going to be so many virtual interviews because of COVID that you may not know where the place you're working is going to be, where your workplace is, or even you might have got interviewed in a different place to where your workplace actually is. So this is stuff that you really need to find out. So what I do is I don't drive and I live in an area where there are regular bus routes, so I'm quite lucky in that sense. So what I did was use Google Maps, find the place where you're working. You're going to have all the details for it anyway, so just Google the address. Once you've got the address, you'll know how far it is away from you, how long it will take you to get to work, and all that good information. And then if you drive, great, you'll find out the quickest route, what time is the best time to leave, and you know when you're going to get in to work on time. If you don't drive and you need to get a bus, for example, if you go onto Google nowadays, you go in directions, it actually gives you different kind of routes, so how long it will take walking. If you need to get a bus, it will tell you different bus routes, like, oh, say if you need to walk 5 minutes, then you get a bus, and then say if you have to walk another 5 minutes to get to your workplace, it tells you, so you know the total amount of time it will take you, including the bus and including walking time, which I think is quite good. I've got the Plymouth Bus app and it does that all for me, and also it gives me a tracker, like a live tracker for the buses, which is so handy. If either you're running late or the bus is running late, you'll know exactly where the bus is, when it'll get to your bus stop, and how long it will take you to get to your workplace. So I think that's amazing. It's worked 3 days now and it is different every single day what time the bus actually arrives. So I almost missed it the first day, not gonna lie. This I don't recommend. So you're not really you're unsure of the bus times. I kind of was a bit blasé about it. I didn't really like rush around. Then I had to run for the bus. I've never run for a bus, never ever. I had to run for the bus, so that was not pleasant, so I don't recommend it to everyone, so be prepared. Next up, on the first day, unless you've already done it, that is the day where all your paperwork will be done and everything's going to be signed up for you and created for you. So make sure you bring, normally it's 2 different kinds of ID, or at least your passport. So 2 different kinds of ID, a P45 if you've got one, your bank details, and any other information that they require of you. Make sure you bring that for your first day. That way you get on the systems quicker, and also you can get paid a bit quicker and you won't get taxed. It's all a win-win, so you just got to be prepared in that sense. Next, do you need to bring your own lunch? I mean, it sounds a bit silly, but are there places around where you can get lunch at lunchtime, or is there even a break room? These are little details that you don't really figure out, so make sure you've asked about it, or you kind of make yourself familiar with the surroundings so you know. Whereas I've actually got a Lidl, a Home Bargains, a Costa, a McDonald's all around me, but I've decided, obviously, one, lockdown, a lot of it is drive-through, so I can't use it, but also, do I want to be spending now too much money on rubbish food when I can just make food myself and bring it into work? That's just the adult in me talking. I mean, if you want a Costa and a McDonald's, you do you, boo. But yeah, I've been kind of refraining from it so far. I mean, it's only the first week. I'll probably lose my willpower, but I'm trying. Next up, once you're there and you're at work, you know where you're going for lunch, you know where the toilets are. That's always a thing. Sometimes they forget to show you where the toilets are, which is a very important aspect, really. So you know what you're doing, you kind of had the tour around, you've had your first day and all that. You need to find out who your kind of go-to person is. Now, is it your actual manager or boss, or is there someone that has been assigned to kind of buddy you and kind of look after you the first few weeks. Like, you need to find out who this person is, which you probably will. They'll greet you, they'll tell you that they're there to support you and whatnot. And it's so nice to actually have someone that you know you can kind of rely on and go to if you're stuck and whatnot. I think you need to find that one person, so then if you have any holidays booked, you need to ask something, you can go to that person rather than just asking any one of your colleagues, which I'm sure they'd help you. But if you have that assigned person, it makes it so much easier, and they'll have the answers 9 times out of 10. Of course, once you get set up on the system in more ways than one, make sure that as soon as possible you get yourself signed up, got all the right necessary codes, details, everything that you need to do your day-to-day jobs, because the last thing you want is to go in the first day, you have none of that, so you can't really do the job that you're assigned to do. So make sure that that's done ASAP. And I know your bosses have a lot going on, a lot to do, but they've also been expecting you, so make sure that they are on top of it, because I've been in places where they're not on top of it and you'll be waiting like months for details that you needed basically on your first week. So make sure you chase it up, so then you can do your job amazingly. You don't have to worry, you can take accountability, and all in all, you can get the job done and you can prove yourself. And that's what I really kind of stress. On your first day and on your first week, make sure you prove yourself to your employers, because that week is the first impression they're going to have of you. If you make that count, that will set you up for how far you're going to go in the company. So if you obviously are really lazy and you're like, oh, I don't know how to do this, don't know how to do that, which is fine. If you don't know, you don't know, because you're new. You're not going to know everything. But if you're not willing to learn and you're not willing to give it your all, then they're going to think twice, like, why did I employ them? So just show enthusiasm, your willingness to learn, pick up on the skills quite quickly if you can. If not, you can have that additional support, but make sure you're just enthusiastic and positive, because they don't want someone who's going to sit in the corner going, I don't like this, why am I doing this, oh, I can't do this. And don't be quiet either. If you're quiet and shy, that's another kind of downside, because they won't know how you're feeling. They won't know if you need anything done, if you need anything sorted. You've just got to do your all, like in that first week. I'm not saying that after that you can be like, oh, like you can go wild, but your first week is the best impression you're going to give. So people can be like singing your praises, going, oh, she's doing really well for like her first day or her first week. Or they're going to be like, well, she ain't much cop, is she? Why have we employed her? So that initial impression, especially if you're in like a quite close-knit environment, that opinion's going to stick. So it's so much easier to prove yourself in the first few weeks than to give a bad impression and negative impression and then having to work yourself back again to prove and win people over. So just do your best, like show your enthusiasm. You wanted this job for a reason. Prove that you wanted this job. You'll be accepted more, you'll feel more comfortable, and you'll want to work there. Also, make sure you make friends. Yeah, they might not be your normal type of people, but this is going to be your working family for as long as you're going to be within the company. So you've got to make sure you'll get along, you'll have a laugh. I mean, at the end of the day, you're all in the same position. You're all just trying to get on with your roles. You're all part of this company for a reason. Why not just get on? And also, they are genuinely interested in new people. Yeah, they might be a bit nosy, but you walk into a room and you're new, everyone's going to be like, oh, where have you come from? Where did you work? They'll ask you a million and one questions and you'll think, whoa. But actually, they're genuinely interested in you and they want to know about you. So then you can easily make that friendship, make that relationship, and you'll feel comfortable with each other. So I definitely recommend it. Don't just sit in a corner, get on with it and just be like, and not talk to anyone. Make friends, because I promise you it will help you out in the long run. And if you're ever stuck, you can be like, hey Bob, can you come help me? Thanks, love. And it's more casual and you'll feel more comfortable. I cannot stress this enough to everyone. I know that I'm very anal when it comes to things. I like to organise, I like to be prepared and stuff, but in this first week alone, you are going to retain so much information. People are going to be at you at all directions saying things, and it's going to be very hard for your brain to keep up. So make sure you bring a notepad and pen, because it will save you so much grief. And if you've got it written down, then you can refer to it easier and you can pick it up quicker than people saying all this information to you. You've not written it down, and then when you get to do it, you're like, oh, well, what was this step? Oh, did I miss a step here? And it's just going to be useless, and it's going to waste time, really. So if you just write everything down, like anything new that someone tells you, write it down and it will retain in your mind. I promise you. I cannot stress this enough to everyone. You need preparation, organisation. A notepad and pen will save your life in the first few weeks, because once you've learned it, you won't need your notepad and pen. But whilst you're still learning, constantly have it with you. And it's a lifesaver, I promise. So, I know this is a bit short, but I really wanted to share my kind of tips, because my first week was a bit, well, actually I really enjoyed my first week because everything seemed to go to plan. I was quite organised, of course, but I just wanted to share with you my tips, because I know what it's like to have a really rough first week and you're nervous as it is. But if you've got these tips, then at least you know you can be prepared and don't have to think about or worry about things that may spring up on you. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!